Good day, fam. This is Backwoods Ram here with a video, and it'll be about Backwoods goes to Costa Rica. I also have a special guest, Nani Knows. Um, she actually became like a very special person in my life. I know it's been a short period of time, but I like to introduce her. This is Nani Knows. Tell the people
Hey,
who you are.
hey everybody. Yep, my name is Nani. Nani knows, because I'll be knowing. A lot of stuff.
That
And I am I like to call myself a one-stop holistic shop. So I offer many different services in the holistic field, from energy work, Reiki, sound and frequency healing, um, aromatherapy. I also do nutritional services such as catering, meal preps, detoxes, juices. I customize them to the person's individual needs, health goals, and what they're looking to achieve. And then I also have a holistic coaching service that I do. Um, and I basically just help people align themselves, like mind, body, and spirit, because we are whole beings, not just a physical being. So it's really important to incorporate that in everything that you do, whether it's eating, what you're reading, what you're watching, and what you're listening to. It all has an effect on your temple, which is your physical body. So, yeah, that's pretty much sums it up in a little nutshell.
as we get into it, I'ma definitely let y'all know who Nani is to me. Cause she has many hats, and I got to experience her in a very different way that I didn't know was coming. So with that being said, I traveled to Costa Rica. It was the September the 22nd through the supposed to have been the 29th, no, the 30th. But some things was able to align themselves, and a lot of us stayed until like the first or the second. With that being said, we traveled three different places. We all ended in San Jose. But first, let me say, all of us were strangers. Well, not all of us, but a good bit of us were strangers. We came from different places. Nani is actually from Ohio. What city again?
Columbus.
Columbus. It was a few people from Detroit. We had people from it. Well, one person from Atlanta, one person from Macon. We also had North Carolina in the building, South Carolina representing. Um, was that everybody?
We have
Philadelphia. Yeah, Matt. I forgot about Matt being in Philadelphia. I bet it's cold
Ooh.
where he at. It might be snowing. I might be extra. But anyway, so we all met in San Jose. We had most of us got there around the same time. I think Nani was the last one to arrive. They say the best for last anyway. And so San Jose was just like more of a travel day, waiting on everybody to come in. We got an Airbnb. It was a really nice one. That was in San Jose. The next day though was an actual all day travel day. We were going to Puerto Vegas, Vegas,
Puerto Viejo.
Puerto Viejo. Now it went down in Puerto Viejo. Okay, so um we went to Puerto Viejo. We spent maybe 4 nights there.
Yeah, I think so. About four. Sounds right.
And that's where we were meeting up to do the Bree ceremony. Well, be with the Bree tribe. And how do you pronounce the ceremony we did?
The cow. The cow.
cacao ceremony. So we learned how
Okay.
to sacredly make chocolate. It was dope. It was dope. Definitely didn't know the experience would be like that, especially the sacredness of the way they go about making the chocolate and what it actually meant. And I never knew that that was like the first money.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that that's what they use for money, but it was a good history lesson. Really got grounded. What about you, Nani, during the Brie ceremony?
Um, so girl, I was good till we went in with the fire, okay? Ooh, like it was, everything was copacetic for me. I liked learning the process. I had always wanted to do a cacao ceremony, because I mean in the holistic field, that's something that they talk about a lot. And because it's a heart opener. So um I've been working on, my heart chakra and stuff. So it was the actual making of it was dope. Seeing the process from like the fruit to the bean to the we had the big ass rock. We had the rock
Yes.
the the, the cacao into the chocolate paste, and that was cool to see how that happened because I already transferred from eating like regular chocolate. Like I'm a chocolate head. I love chocolate. I went from regular chocolate, like milk chocolate to dark chocolate. Like it just kind of naturally led me there. And then I got into cacao once I learned more. Like that was the taste that I was looking for, but it was really like for my heart chakra.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was that fire ceremony that was the intense part for me.
I didn't even know that he agreed to let us. A lot of the things that we did, I don't even think it was a part of what we signed up for as far as the tour. I think he just felt
Our
everybody's energy and he
For
went
sure.
from there.
Yeah, for sure. He didn't expect for us. He was probably used to like just the touristy groups, like they just want to see process and like, oh, that's cool. So, but once he realized like who we actually were as a group and how tapped in than we were to the actual healing process,
Mm-hmm.
um, more into showing us more.
Yeah. Yeah, it was dope. Yeah. So I didn't look well. I think I enjoyed the most, and I hate to say this, was the food. It was so clean. Like that's the only it was so clean.
Yeah, I like hate white rice, like in general. Okay, so I want to see that rice, right? But when I see it, I'm like,
Okay,
oh, this
guys,
ain't
this
this
is
ain't that.
the
This
Yeah.
is it's
it
something
today.
different, and it just
The
you can just
friends.
tell like they just went out back
Oh, the friend
and
is
plucked
very good.
the rice pellets by hand or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like out there,
Yeah.
like like a whole grain, like just
Hello,
nutritional and
guys.
like there wasn't no shit, but it was so good.
It was so good.
You're
But I
welcome.
love to eat, and I mean I enjoyed the whole ceremony. I didn't really know what cacao had like what it entailed or what it would be like to be around this community or whatever. So I did go to Costa Rica blind. I'm not even gonna lie, but I was tired of being tired and it was time to do something. So that was dope. I really enjoyed myself with the Brie people. What did we do next? Oh,
Went to the waterfall.
yeah, we did go to the waterfall. We opened up, cracked our own coconut. What?
That was
It got wild after we left the Brie tribe.
so open. You know what I'm saying? It was just open and free. We was one with nature, like I was all inspired to do videography and photography. Like y'all this.
Listen, we got out the van, we done traveled, went to the waterfall. It wasn't that far away. We actually stopped at a river. Was it Panama River?
We're like the border from Costa Rica to Panama. Yeah, it was dope. You could see like Panama across the river.
That was a really pretty view. So after we did that, we go to the waterfall, and it was a short little hike. It wasn't long at all. But all I remember is like we were definitely busting coconuts, recording and stuff. Why most of the women just all of a sudden like, we out here,
Yeah,
clothes off. Listen, I've never had an experience to where I didn't think of being a woman, being a black person or melanated person, because I don't identify but melanated person. It was the first time I ever felt like I didn't have to like really, well, think about identifying as something. I was just there.
being.
That shit was dope.
Yeah, like for me, I didn't really like I was free and everything, but I'm a little older in the soul, so I was just happy to see y'all enjoying yourself. And for me, like being able to shoot it and like low key direct what
Mm-hmm.
was happening in the shoot that it turned into the impromptu shoot. It turned
Mm-hmm.
into was beautiful for me. Like I mean, and it even resonated because I'm a Virgo, so that's the mother sign, and that's exactly how I felt. Like, oh, my babies are just free and they spirits is so pure. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I felt. Like, oh look, this is awesome. So I was kind of like living through like my motherly, like I guess now in hindsight, that was kind of how the trip was for me. I was like the mother, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it. But yeah, just to see y'all's joy and y'all's freeness, and nobody was like, "Oh, ooh, don't." I'm scared. Like it's beautiful as an empowering moment for women. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely dope. It is, like I said, an experience I've never had before. But after we left the waterfall, I kind of go blank because that was like a very, I don't know, that was something. Um, did we go grab something to eat?
Um, I think we went back to the Airbnb with the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah. So I definitely skipped a few things because, I was the first one to kind of unravel as far as like being around a bunch of strangers and being irritable about things that bother me. And other than the only thing that really got to me was the commute, the way we had to get to places, and that's probably it. But that's only because I'm a professional driver and I hate to be a backseat driver. Sometimes I am, but anyway, so that night,
Your your words, you know what I'm saying? Like it was words of wisdom because you were the only one that really knew like about traction and
mhm,
the type of roads we was driving on. So like having that balance because we was just going, you know what I'm saying? Having that balance of somebody like, all right, this I think we need to reroute. You know what I'm saying? Because none of the rest of us didn't know. We were just in there for the ride. Like, oh yeah, let's go. Like,
listen.
oh,
And every time I got ready to say something, I'd be like, they don't want to hear my mouth. I told him shut up. I'm like, I don't care. Listen. But yeah, so that night, I think that day of travel, I had enough of just being in the van, and I didn't even want to go get anything to eat. Like Jasmine actually stayed with me that night, while y'all went back out or whatever, and we got to
That
know each other too, huh?
it was a really long day because we got lost hella times. It took so long to find the Airbnb in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it was quite a surprise once we got there. Like y'all saw it.
Oh, yes, that's why I'm like, when y'all went back out, me and Jasmine settled in. We roamed around a little bit to see like where we want to sleep or whatever. And we chatted and got to know each other. And I really appreciate her staying there with me because, like you just said, Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes. But not only that, the size of the grasshoppers,
All of the bugs, girl, all of them.
as big as my hand, like it was a pet. But I actually have a recording of Planet of the Apes. Let's see if it'll play.
But you gotta explain like before you give the sound, okay? Because and you gotta explain like how we heard the sound because context.
Okay, so I don't know what time y'all got in because me and Jasmine was already asleep. And all of a sudden it's like right by my window, which is not really a window because a lot of their houses are made indoor outdoor. So it's like we was kind of indoor, but we was outdoor, and you could open up like all the shutters and stuff. But it sounded like it was literally like right in the backyard. And so when I heard it, it was probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Sun came up.
Yes, and it sounded like a dinosaur. I don't know what dinosaurs actually sound like because I didn't live back then, but the shit they show us on TV, it sounded like a dinosaur. No lie. And everybody was just like still. We were
Yeah.
still downstairs.
It's scary, like, because we didn't have no warning. Okay, so I feel like we got to give a little more context because we got to paint this picture. Because there, people are probably like, "What you mean, like Planet of the Apes?" So we stayed in like what you said.
I'm playing this video. Like it take a minute, but here, I mean, can you hear it good on that? Did it come through?
Hear it at all.
No.
Phone up to the closer.
Let's see. Hell no. Okay, it might be a no.
Mm.
It might be a monkey. I wish y'all could hear it because when I tell you, it was like, no, I said gang.
I can explain
And they
because I
got the water in
swear
the backyard.
when it woke me up,
You
okay,
can hear
I
mine.
had the flashback of the last Planet of the Apes movie when they was all on the bridge, okay, and they went to the city. I just knew like they was about to get us. I just knew they. I don't care. They're angry. They're mad. Like you know what I'm saying? Because that's how it sounded. You know, because we're in this like yurt style house, which was beautiful. The
Mm.
scenery was beautiful, and we're in these beds with nets over them. But there's nothing like stopping them from getting to us. Like you could see the monkeys
Good
from the
day.
balcony we were on. You know,
Good
Took like one,
day.
two good hops, they would have been on the bed.
Y'all already done y'all yoga?
And so
No lie.
I
Y'all already done yoga?
just stopping them from coming in here. Like I don't, and then like the nobody told us that that was going to happen. So that was a total complete surprise.
Oh yeah.
But after that night, it was just our alarm clock every morning.
It did. It was. It was definitely an alarm clock. But I really wish y'all could hear the noise. So I'ma start it a little bit just so you can hear the rumble because it sound like whatever it was before we knew what it was, like
Hungry.
something coming from somebody's belly, like from the pit of the gut, like I mean just like but it was like
No cap, no cap. It was like,
Jasmine was like, is there a dinosaur? I don't know.
and and then we thought that they were the little monkeys for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as monkeys making this sound, like there's no way, and we were convinced. But then y'all went on the hike and y'all actually saw
Yeah.
the bigger.
Yeah. The ones that actually made that noise are all black. And then they had the black bodies with the white faces. They made a different kind of noise. But I didn't realize the Airbnb was actually in their national park.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. We're not informed that we were in the middle of a monkey reserve. Okay. Nobody said that. We had to figure that out ourselves.
Oh my goodness. We really had an adventure. Like,
But it was so beautiful though. Like I couldn't live like that per se, with the whole net sleeping and all that. Like I couldn't, but the scenery, like the nature we were always immersed in was just so refreshing and serene. Like they had a hammock. We were just waking up doing yoga. It was beautiful.
it was. That was probably my favorite spot we actually stayed.
Yeah, me too. I mean, after that fourth day, I was kind of over it because I got the claustrophobic because you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying. It's like
Yeah.
you're.
Uh, I
And I
like
was so,
that it was what?
and I was sharing a bed, so it
Oh,
was kind
yeah.
of like got it.
Yeah, I definitely understand on it. Cause some of us shared, some of us slept up by ourselves. It just depends on how we ended up. Um, honestly, I can't believe we came together like that and got along as well as we did. I mean, it was really a good group.
Very quick. It was just like Soul Tribe. You know what I'm saying? Like very, very much so. There were
We had
um
some I wouldn't say mishaps, but I mean, it's only natural for shit to happen. You've been around strangers for 10 days. Like,
outside of strangers, being with a group of people, every moment, is like, okay. Growing pains is what I like to call them.
yeah.
All had to learn each other in a short amount of time, respect each other's differences, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes just go with the flow when we
Mhm.
wasn't flowing.
Yeah.
But was all needed.
Yeah, definitely. I've never been around a group of people that communicate in such a healthy way. Even
Like,
if it's like uncomfortable conversations, things need to be said. I've never experienced anything like that before. So, can't
yeah.
nobody tell me it don't exist. So, after the monkeys, but we went backwards. So after the Bree Bree tribe, which was dope, we went to the waterfall, enjoyed ourselves, expressed ourselves. Then we headed back home. Well, I say home. We headed back to the Airbnb. What did we do? We just had free time after that.
Um,
Cause
uh,
hold on.
yeah, I think chilling. Or did we do the tantra thing that night?
Y'all did the tantra thing. I was, resistant to being that open and intimate. So I just enjoyed the energy that was around. But
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. Um, like I practiced tantra like by myself, you
mhm.
know what I'm saying? With somebody that I was like a partner, like my partner, but I've done it with someone that I didn't like have, no intimate feelings for. You know
Mhm.
what I'm
Yeah.
look your eyes like this. You know, but it kind of like taught me that the deeper meaning of like how we are each other's reflection, you know,
Mhm.
gazing. And we did like a couple of rounds as I was looking into these other people. Like I was really looking into myself, you know what I'm saying? And that was like my experience. And then it was cool hearing what other people saw through me, you know.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Like Kaya was like, "You're just so strong." She was like, "Wow." She was like, "That's so," and I'm like, "What? It's something wrong with me because I don't see nobody else. Like I just see me, you know." I think that even made me realize kind of a, a tad bit about what Leonard be saying, like we are one, you know.
Yeah.
I am.
I catch myself saying Leonard, like little sayings here and there. What will be. All is all.
Like I do too because it taught me when you in just like situations where you can't do nothing about it, it just is what it is. Like it helps to have that mindset. Like,
hmm
no, I can choose how to feel about this moment.
hmm
You know,
That
give
part.
you yeah, it kind of give you your power back and like, all right, this ain't how I wanted it to go, but let me find all the positives in it.
hmm
So I appreciated that perspective.
Yeah, no lie, for real. Um, but after we did that, let's see. The next day, I think we was able to do we went hiking and y'all went snorkeling, right? That was pretty the hike was nice. The monkeys do come up to you and walk around and you got these little you ever watched the Zumba Foo?
Yeah, I used to love that show.
I don't know what those things are called, but that's what it looked like to me.
Okay.
One of them animals. And they just be chilling. I mean, they don't bother you or anything. They come really close to you though. So I screamed a few times just because it was
You're not
new.
go ahead. Of
Yeah.
course.
But the hike was really, really nice. We encountered a lot of good food.
Yeah. And we were plant based the
hmm
whole
The whole time.
like once
Hmm
maybe. But yeah, we retreat, so we were kind of trying to be as clean as possible. And then we had to kind of do that diet for the ayahuasca ceremony.
Yes.
So yeah, but it was kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little hard, but like after, the fifth, sixth day,
Yes.
because that uh like seen, because their food is so fresh and locally sourced. They like vegan. Our meat is good.
Mhm.
So it was kind of hard to keep eating rice and bean burritos and and play.
I wasn't as strict as y'all were with the food. Because that last the day the I forget what day it was. It might have been the day before I was leaving. It was the day after ayahuasca and the Indian restaurant we went to. It was really good. That salmon, I've never tasted. All the food here in America fake. It's all fake.
And girl, I swear, when I came back and I tried to eat some salmon here, I told you what happened. It was not. I was like, oh man.
Listen, I don't want to get too personal, but everybody gut is over here fucked up.
Okay.
The gut fucked up.
That's why the people over there are so healthy. Like you know how many ambulances we see on a regular basis here? We saw one the whole time we was there.
They don't even, where was the hospital?
They don't even, that's what I'm saying. Like no pharmacies, no like major hospitals or anything because the people are not sick.
Mm-hmm. Now they had one pharmacy because I had my little encounter, but I think what
Like
really took me out was at the pharmacy. You didn't have to have a prescription for a lot of stuff that we have to have a prescription for. That blew my mind.
everything is just like go over there and get it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they don't have white coat doctors in the back like pushing the pills and stuff. Like you could just tell like their health is just top notch just because
Mm-hmm.
of like the food that they're eating. Like we didn't even see too many gyms or anything like that. And I stayed in San Jose and I toured like the city and stuff. And there isn't really too many like um you see a Planet Fitness on every block or some type of gym everywhere here
Yeah.
because so we need more gyms. It's just to tell the difference in how the people operate.
Yeah, the culture is definitely something I picked up on. The not waking up feeling like I got all these responsibilities that entail me answering to other people and doing things for other people in order to get to what I need to get to. It wasn't like that over there. I mean, it was just more so of like I'm feeding my soul over here. Like,
And then the like time wasn't a thing for
mm,
real.
ooh.
Like we ain't know what day it was half the time.
Not even, I didn't even know the hurricane was around at all. I don't think none of it. We didn't watch any TV, and the last place we stayed had TVs, and we didn't even turn it on. Well, one night we had that movie night.
It lasted maybe like an hour because and so that really tells you too. It's like people are really just in nature and with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like electronics and stuff. Like how people would just be in their phones. Like you go to dinner, people just in there. Like we really didn't outside of like footage and content and stuff. Like nobody was really on social media seeing what was going on. Like we were really in society.
We was here for the process. We was here for the process. It was dope. Ooh, it was so dope. Oh Lord. Porto Viejo.
Puerto
Say it again.
Viejo.
Puerto Viejo also has really good shopping. If anybody ever goes to Costa Rica, that was where the best shopping was. I got to what?
Melanated people.
Oh yeah, and it's a lot of melanated people on that side. San Jose doesn't really have that many melanated people. Because that was considered the Caribbean coast we were on. So it was dope. So we traveled after day 5. On day 5, we traveled to the Monaco beach. Am I saying it
Okay.
right?
I don't know about that. I can't help you there.
Where we stayed in that last Airbnb, it seemed like it was just on the other side of where we was at. Because wasn't it about 5 hours? It was past San Jose. No, it wasn't past San Jose. It was before you got back to San Jose. Yeah, it was
San Jose.
because
Yeah,
that was really royal, that last one.
yeah. I feel like it would be like it was like kind of like the Beverly Hills of San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
So, more of the luxurious style homes were because it was so the pool. And then I just love really how all the homes are like indoor outdoor.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to at some point to do something, you know? I don't have to go outside at all if I don't, like
Mm-hmm.
unless you like going to work or something, you could stay in your house for days and not see no sun. But yeah, how their setup is even the restaurants are outside, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
It was dope.
Like to me and Papa Larry went to dinner like my last day there when he did my energy work. Took me like to like how we have plazas and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The plazas was outside. It was like strip plazas, but they were all open, and you still was sitting looking at outside.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the atmosphere was just, I keep holding on to it. I keep holding on to it. So we traveled to a beach, where we got settled into that Airbnb, and that following day we did a drum ceremony with Dr. Larry. You can actually find him on Instagram at L Trot, and he does all well. He kind of about like all the stuff that you do. I don't really know how to put his title in other than he does alternative holistic medicine and healing. Um, I know
I
he
think
does
a shamanic healer.
shamanic healer. Shamanic healer. Um, what do we call the drum
Yeah,
ceremony?
that's what it is, a drum ceremony.
Okay. Now that lasted longer than I expected. It lasted all day. However, it was needed for me afterwards, just because the creativity of like just being so open to create when you don't really know what it is that you're trying to create, you just using your imagination. And I haven't done that in a really long time, especially, I mean, as an adult. I can't really remember the last time I did anything like that.
And also, like, I think it showed all of us like the importance of a supportive community. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So like I feel like did things that we normally like wouldn't do in front of people. Like for me, but sure, a little shoulder shimmy, but to full on dancing in a Soul Train line and like by myself while people are staring at me. And you know what I'm saying? And I did that by accident. Like he caught me dancing in the corner and he like, come on. I'm like, ah, but it was dope because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like anxiety of judgment or like, people looking at me weird. Everybody was so super supportive and encouraging. It was just heartwarming because like again, like I said, it just shows you the importance of like a supportive
Mm-hmm.
community. Like that's what tribe does. Like it don't matter if you good or not, do it. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like,
Mhm.
so
I was looking at it like everybody had their own individual style. And what I took out of it is, um, I have people around me who are showing me that I can be about the same things that made me uncomfortable. Like I don't have to feel like insecure about things that I'm doing that I'm not probably that strong at, but I'm still doing it anyway. And really all you have to do is just be yourself and express yourself as you, and can't nobody do you better than you.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Um,
I really enjoyed it. Huh?
yeah, and it was a judgment-free zone the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I really liked about it. Even when, everybody had I feel like moment where they was sick of the shit. Okay? Like a moment. But I just love how we all came together, gave space and support when needed. So yeah.
Yeah, for real. No doubt. I can't believe I traveled to Costa Rica. Anyway, so after we did the drums, well, honestly, during the drum ceremony, Dr. Larry was telling a few stories about some of the things when it come to energy work and having energy trapped inside your organs and things like that. So I expressed to him some things that I had going on right before I came out here, and he asked me did I want to do a session. So I said of course. I didn't know how it would actually line up with the ayahuasca ceremony and trying to get energy work right before I leave. So I was kind of like indifferent about getting it done because I felt like I was just trying to cram a lot of stuff in at one time. So we're gonna go ahead and pass over that and come back to that because I did get some energy work done right before my flight. So ayahuasca come up. We had enough time to kind of get our mind together for it because we didn't do it until what 1 o'clock. And Sophia came. Sophia Shamanism. She goes by Sophia underscore shamanism under on IG. Sophia came, she introduced herself, she brought us food, some really good fruit other than papaya. Um
Water.
yeah. And coconut water. We drank a lot of coconut water over there. Um I really wish we had it over here because I can tell in just like the appearance of my skin, the appearance of just like the way my hair felt, like the the feeling of like having all the nutrients and the minerals that you need, like actually drinking something and not having to drink like a gallon of water here to to feel like you feel good inside or whatever. Lubricated. What'd you say?
Hydrated. No, like seriously, I'm going through that like now kind of. It's kind of like I'm having coconut water withdrawals. My skin, not even just coconut water, like the nutrition withdrawals.
Mm-hmm.
I so freaking dry. Like I'm putting on shea butter twice a day. And
I want
and huh?
Girl, I feel like I ain't even gonna lie. I feel like I got psoriasis.
Really?
I do. I have like little dry. I mean, you can't. It's not as noticeable on the for other people, but like I have like little patches all of a sudden, like from coming from Costa Rica, and like you said, I mean, I didn't think about it like that. I'm really dry.
Like and it's because I'm not getting, you know what I'm saying? We was for 12 days on like natural nutrients, you know what I'm saying? Like H3O type shit. Hella smoothies, hella tropical fruits, hella coconut water, like clean food, and I just feel like ever since I've been back, my skin has been taking it hard.
Hmm.
Like water for real. You know, I thought the water there was harsh, but I realized what we was smelling was iron. So
Hmm.
like that's and we couldn't take like hot showers, you know what I'm saying? So we weren't drying ourselves out. So this is a big like shock for our skin trying to like reintegrate, you know?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. Ooh, I'm glad you gave me another thought process. So, Sophia comes. She introduced herself to everybody. We preparing ourselves for Mother Ayahuasca. She's telling us things as far as her experience with doing the ceremonies. And we also sign, was it something like an NDA? Or just
Basically, what happens to us during this process, we can't blame it on her. So like, it's, he couldn't blame that on nobody.
facts, facts, facts. So we finally, get ready to do the ceremony. We all sitting in a circle or whatever. We have some things on, like, it really wasn't an altar, but it was an altar. Um, she passes this bag around and we pick um words out of it, and mine had enthusiastic on it. I didn't know really what to do with it. Um Other than just accept what the word said and see what comes along with picking that word or whatever. So we all get our ayahuasca. Um I did hit like a moment of, I felt, I guess, sleep. I really wasn't asleep, but when you reach that level of meditation where it's like you don't know if you sleep or awake, it was kind of like that. And I'm just telling my experience right now. And I remember just waking up to a scream, and somebody else was going through their experience, well, their trip or whatever. So for me, when I woke up to the scream, it threw me. Like, I woke up like, who the fuck messing with my trip? Like, that was just a reaction I had because I was getting in a mind space of, I'm finna like get this healing that I feel like I've been needing or wanting. And so when I heard the scream, it startled me, and I kind of had like irritable, look on my face. And I was like trying to come back from being startled. However, I feel like I laid there and tried to get back into it as much as I can. Now, Sophia is walking around, going to different energies that she see, because we don't know what it is that she see. And I guess she see that I'm not really, I guess I'm resistant. I'm being resistant. At least I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know this was a part of my trip. I didn't know I had started my trip. So I went through like majority of my trip not knowing that I was on my trip. With that being said, I got a second dose of ayahuasca. Knowing what I knew now, I wouldn't have took the second one. But I got a second dose. So at this time, I tell Sophia, like, I need you to come here. I said, what if Mother Ayahuasca doesn't want to work with you? She was like, she does whatever she wants. And I was just like, that didn't answer my damn question. But so I try and, like I say, lay back down, sit a certain kind of way, really get into it. So I end up sitting up, because I was laying down. Ended up sitting up, and I did get into this trance. And a while ago, like a really long time ago, in my early 20s, I had did salvia, which was like a hallucination drug or whatever. You do it with amongst a group of people. And I went back to the trip I had there, because the trip I had doing that was I imagined being in a circle amongst entities that I didn't have an understanding I was amongst, because we literally was just heads. We were all heads, probably kind of from the neck around here. And that was the trip I went back to. And I remember feeling like I was just a head. And I remember getting in a pose to where I literally looked like I was just a head. I don't know how long I stayed in that pose, but I felt like I stayed in it for a good little while. And what I kept hearing was the mind is all. The mind is all. Like the mind is all. I also been told more than once that I was ancient. So I actually see my feet as roots, like a tree, like my feet, even though my toes were still there, but the actual texture, the look, it was roots. And I kept hearing like, you already know what you're supposed to be doing. You ancient, like you know who you are. It was a more of a voice of like being irritated that I'm being resistant, but I didn't know I was being resistant. I didn't know. Um, so I think I got tired of sitting there feeling like I was just on some really good drugs. I'm walking around, interacting with people I should, I was just letting distractions and resistant just be on me. And the whole time I'm going through my trip and don't even know I'm going through my trip. So, somehow Nani gets a hold of me. I really don't know what it was to where you actually got a hold of me, but okay, so the first time I encountered you while you were doing while you were on your trip, Nani was blind. When I say blind, I mean eyes closed, walking around, not bumping into anything. Like her hands were her fucking eyes.
Yeah.
So the first time she came to me, um, she was working on somebody else, and I was kind of in front of the person, and she literally in mid of working on them, she just came over to me and she kneeled down and she wept, and she was doing this motion around my wound and like throwing shit. And I couldn't see her actually like physically throwing anything, but I could feel her just throwing shit away, throwing shit away. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, because at this time I'm still in my trip and I'm being resistant. And I'm letting things distract me. But I'm in my trip and I have no idea. So that was my first encounter with Nani. But after that, I don't know how she got a hold of me after that. So I'm gonna let you take over and and tell the folks your perspective on what my trip and your trip was and how it integrated.
Okay. Um, yeah, very unexpected for me. You know what I mean? Because I went into it like, yeah, about to do some shadow work, show me where my blockages are. Like, I'm thinking I'm about to have some emotional, I'm about to cry, I'm about to be snotting, I'm about to be shitting, I'm about to be throwing up. So I'm, listen, I'm prepared for all of this. Okay. Like, all right, yeah, I'm ready to purge. I'm ready to get it out, you know? And none of that happened for me. I wasn't even taken like into myself. I was taken like outside of myself. Like, I didn't have a journey within. Like it was more so like an activation for me. Um, all I remember is as I was like laying there meditating, I had something over my eyes. Like immediately after I felt the ayahuasca kicking, something like made me cover my eyes, like shut them down, basically. So then I started noticing like my hands was going like crazy numb. Like it started to scare me numb. You know what I'm saying? And I had remember feeling that feeling before, like um little history. I dealt with several chronic illnesses in my life to where I was hospitalized a lot. And I used to think like my hands used to be going like this, you know what I'm saying? And feeling that tingly, numb sensation. And I used to think it was because I was like getting so dehydrated that, you know, I guess that's what happens. And because that's what hospitals were telling me, like, oh, you're just some, you need a bag, basically, you know? And so I, you know, had no idea those that was my hands trying to be like, heal yourself. Like, why you sitting up here letting these people do what they doing to you? Like, fix it, you know? And so it was just so much energy that was energy like flowing into my hands, like wanting to be channeled. And me resisting, like trying to hold them, like, what's going on? Trying to figure it out instead of flowing through it. And I don't know, in that time, in that moment during the ayahuasca ceremony, I just learned during that whole trip up to that point was I learned how to breathe. I learned how to breathe through stuff. I learned how to, you know what I'm saying? Like not hold energy, just breathe. Like that was my biggest lesson, learning how to breathe. And so as I was sitting there and I was feeling that, I'm like, okay, let me just breathe through it. Let me just breathe through it. Started like deep rhythmic breathing. And it was just like, you know, I can't even really explain it because I felt like you ever seen an oxygen machine?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like that's really how I felt. Like, and I don't know if you could hear me, but it was like I did it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden I started getting like instructions on what to do with my hand. They're like, let them follow them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, let's go. And so my hands start working on me first. And I remember just it was crazy because it's like, you know, like I'm knowing they're my hands, but they don't feel like my hands. It feels like some like flowing energy through me. Okay. And um I don't know, that probably was an experience for you to see because I don't really know what I was doing. I
Listen,
couldn't see my
I'm intervening for just a second. You was, this is what I remember with your hands. But you, like, I remember a lot of this. And I remember watching you take shit and just throw it. I mean, you was just throwing shit off of everybody.
yeah. And that's kind of what I was feeling like. I was moving it, releasing it, you know, getting it out. And then once I finished on myself, it was just like, go. Like, and so I got up and I went. Let's go. You know?
Man, listen, that was something to see. Like,
It really was like and I remember physically trying to like let me see what's going on, and it was my eyes went open. You know what I mean? And so I'm really literally feeling my way around. Like, okay, what energy is pulling me? Wherever it was pulling me, that's where I went. And so I really couldn't even tell you who I was working on at when, but it was, you know what I mean? I remember like speaking things to people, and then they brought it to me afterwards. But in the moment, it was like I was very much so fully in my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember you, specifically, I came over, I couldn't even tell you because I couldn't see. But it was just like something led me over there, and then like you had a strong like pull on me. You know what I'm saying? Like strong pull on me. And I'll let you share your own experience with what you was dealing with. But what you were dealing with, I just felt it was trapped in your womb.
Mm-hmm.
And like clear the space. It's like a whole bunch of weeds had grown, you know what I'm saying? And something was like had been trapped in there for a long time. And I just felt its pain and its sadness and it's like the darkness, you know what I'm saying? And so like me feeling all of that is probably, you know, what led me to like to do what, you know, the I wept and you so like I had to clear the space for you because I don't think you knew how to do it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that was that. And then I don't know, I think I just carried on after that to where
You
it
did.
um and I think once I did, like I went up to Sophia and I was like, what is this? What is happening? Like, you came here to do this. She was like, you're a healer, like you're a spiritual surgeon, like you're doing surgery. Because I was like, what is like I just feel such immense energy and like power like surging through my hands. Like I couldn't even close them. I couldn't like I was walking around like this. Like
You was like, somebody grab my hands. I need to like transfer, like, and I'm like, I remember saying, I'm not doing it.
it was just because it was overwhelming, you know, and then you know it's oh, it felt like a long period of time, and it was just overwhelming for real. The only time I got kind of like um, I guess relief from it was when I was working on somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and it was flowing through me. Um, but yeah, she was like, "Nah, you a spiritual surgeon. Like you came here to do this. You doing surgery. You know what I'm saying?" And so I kind of like what she explained to me. I became like one of her tentacles. Like, I guess because Mother Ayahuasca knew she couldn't handle us all. You know, and because she was like, you know, that her and Popularity both explained like they had never experienced nothing like that. You know, and they said every ceremony that they've had, people was laying still for 8 hours, laying on the ground in their own space. You know
Beat
what I mean?
up.
They're running around, climbing, make a left to the ants. Okay, like
Hello. Jumping on cars.
you know. So, um, it was all it was in bathrooms, working diligently. Like I had locked that bathroom, getting work done. Didn't even know, like you know, we was just all very much so in our element and activated. And what I realize now is like we are the starseed generation. You know what I mean? And so the generation before us, which is like Popularity and Sophia, is like they are dealing with people who you know doing that deep, you know, inner work. But we are the generational curse breakers. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so we have to go to spiritual war and really fight those battles within ourselves to loose that and to really become who we're supposed to become to get the work done and change this world. But yeah, so I kind of after she gave me some oil and she put the oils on my hands, and so I just kind of like you know, and it helped calm me down a little bit, like tone it down a little bit. So that then I was able to like re physical body with the spiritual experience that I was having. So then after that, like I could open my eyes and I could like normally talk and walk around, but I was still having like the energy pulls and the the sensations. And so I again, you start pulling on me heavy again, because I kept trying to sit down like, what about me? You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
thinking I didn't come here for y'all. I came here to my shit out. Okay. Where's my body? But part of my trip was, nah, you here to do what you doing. Like, that's your purpose in this world. So it kind of was all right, this is who I am. I
Mm-hmm.
get it.
Yeah.
So then like I don't really know
I
how
think
I got back to you.
I think I walked by you because you was
Okay.
sitting in the chair by the room, like the little swingy part, not the actual chair, but like the thing that the funny looking chair.
Okay, yeah, maybe. I just remember feeling you heavy again.
You was like, are
And
you able to receive?
yeah, like that was just like Mama Ayahuasca spoke through me like, all right, she need a real time representative right now because she ain't letting me in. So that basically was like, because that didn't come from me. I wasn't looking to see what you was going through. I was trying to let you go through. Um, but literally something led me to come like remove you from everything, And at first I was like, let me go ask Sophia if it's okay. And then I was like, fuck that, we doing it. And because she said not to go in like the rooms or whatever. But at this point, I'm like, shit, I'm here. I have
Right.
arrived. So yeah, I took you in there and I'm just like, because I'm feeling like it's kind of like I was in your spirit
Mhm.
brain, feeling like your resistance, and I was feeling your battle, and I was feeling like the blockages that you was having. And then it kind of incorporated to like what I had felt from you like the first time. And, yeah, I'm just like, all right, I know what she need. We gotta get her away from the distractions. So we got away from the distractions, and yeah, I just really was told to help you feel again. That was like the phrase, like she's
Mhm.
numb. Just teach her how to feel and blow her through that. You know what I'm saying? And help her get back connected with her womb space because she's very, you were
It's
disconnected.
very, very.
Yeah, I couldn't really, it was very much spirit led and spirit talking through me to what you needed to help you go into your heart space and into your womb space and really do the work you needed to do for yourself. And yeah, so I'll give it back to you now so you can.
So I remember Nani walking by her again, and but this time her eyes were open and she was able to like speak for real. So she looked at me, she was like, are you ready to receive? And I'm thinking you talking about your hands. And I was like, no. And I was like, what you mean? And you was like, you need to be in like, you need to be off to yourself. She was like, you not doing well in this environment. You thrive better like alone. Like to get something done, you need to be alone. And I was like, okay, whatever, like we'll go in the room or whatever. And I remember going in a room and we thought we was by ourselves, but Maya was in the bathroom with Zen, and we was like, is anybody in here? And they was like, yes. And we was like, where is it? You know, you almost lost me that quick. Like I almost went to another distraction. Just my trip was
And
wow.
it's funny, she didn't even realize she thought she was just on space too. You know what I'm saying? She didn't
Mm-hmm.
even realize acting out her I forgot her word. Expansive. Her word was expansive. She didn't even realize, she was operating in that, even though she was on a microdose, and I, oh girl, you doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're expansive. You know what I'm saying? You in
Mm-hmm.
here working on content in the middle of an ayahuasca ceremony. Okay. Wow, the baby. Okay, come on now, the girl's bad. But
What?
so, um, yeah, and I just remember sitting on the floor with you, going through the process.
Cause I couldn't really get you. It's like find somewhere you feel comfortable at, and I'm like, do I need to lay in the bed? I was kind of all over the place, and I was like, okay. I'm gonna sit against the wall. I'm gonna sit right here. I'm gonna sit right here. I'm ready. I remember being all how I am, and one of the first things you said was like, um, you've gotten really good at picking up and just moving on. And I don't know at what point I closed my eyes, but at some point I closed my eyes. And I felt like the room was dark, like I was just in the middle of nothing, if that makes sense. Like I was just in the middle of nothing. And I kept hearing your voice talking to me. And I remember you just saying everything that needed to be said, that like you said, I knew I needed work, but I didn't know how to do it myself. And you guided me to that place that I was supposed to go. And the part about being disconnected, I was literally disconnected. It was like the way I felt then was like my wound was totally separate from me. Like I had no uh there was no presence of me having a wound. Like I can say that now. Um and I remember Nani talking me into going to get my inner child. And we went and got her. We went and got her, and I remember after feeling like being in a place of just nothing, it was a sense of comfort that came over me. But even before we actually got into it, when every time I was around Nani during the trip, during the ceremony, it was an overwhelming feeling of comfort that I got from her. And I felt like that allowed me to let you in. Because when I say comfort, I mean like when you ain't seen your grandma in 2 weeks and she come and give you a hug and kiss, you know what I mean? Like it was an overwhelming feeling of comfort. And so I remember sitting on the floor, and you got beside me and you placed my hands like this on my wound, and you was just talking. And I don't remember everything word for word, but it was like, you know, ask for forgiveness, understand what she felt like being in a place that she was in, like acknowledge her. And I remember saying some stuff to you, and the next thing I know, you was like, I was like, I found her, I think I might have said to you, and you was like, now go get her. And I took my last breath. I don't know if you can understand what I mean by I took my last breath. When I say I took my last breath, as soon as you said, because that's another thing, I wasn't breathing through it. And you noticed that I wasn't breathing. And you was like, no, you got to breathe because we going through it. We finna go through it. And I would breathe, you know, when you would mention it to me, because I would get caught up in a memory or a moment that made me feel regret, shame, or something. And I would stop breathing. And you'd be like, no, keep breathing. And during that time of breathing, when you told me to go get her and I was taking the exhale, to me, that was my last exhale. And I don't know when you got up or when I was in the room by myself, but I was in the room by myself, which I still had my eyes closed. I didn't realize that I was still sitting on the ground, well, on the floor, whatever, because as I started coming to, I felt like I was up against a tree because I was on the floor with the wall against my back, and I felt like I was up against a tree. And my fingers started moving a little bit because I felt like I had took my last breath, no lie. And I remember having a conversation with her, which, you know, myself, my inner self, and she was like, now it's your choice as far as what you gonna do with the with what you know, like what you gonna do now. You know, you got me, so what we gonna do? You gonna get up? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get up. And I remember taking my first breath, um and feeling myself and having a conversation with myself and saying, like, you know, this is what you grew up into. This is what you became. And I'm like touching myself and seeing myself for the first time in my adult life. And I mean, I touched from my toes to the tip of my fingers. I could feel, because, like you said, I was numb. The feeling that I have now, like I'm present, like I'm present. And I didn't know that was my trip. I didn't know that was gonna happen. And it was so amazing. And I honestly just wanted to curl up with Nani and just like be under her titty. Like, I want to be a little kid. I want to be a child. And I greatly appreciate you for being a part of it. Like, thank you for giving me your time like that. I really appreciate it.
Hold space for you, and help you find you.
Mm,
That's, you know, I guess as a healer, that's the best thing that we can do for others, is to be able to hold space and actually be effective in holding space for other people.
mm-hmm,
Um, and excited to see what you do with your new energy
mm-hmm.
and into, you know, now that you are one.
Yes. I really just been enjoying being present, being in a place where I'm firm in what it is that I am, whatever that might be at the time, you know, or whatever I feel like. But just I feel the presence of myself versus going through the motions and just feeling like a zombie and overwhelmed with things that don't even fucking matter, and um always
Connected.
open. Say that again.
Feeling of being disconnected.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed my ayahuasca trip. However, that was not the end of it. Because remind you, I told you I took 2 doses. So, what'd you say?
Yeah, that's right. Your second dose kicked in a little later.
So, I don't know how we got back outside to be around a circle, but I remember you had cut up fruit. We was having a conversation because at this point I'm being clingy as fuck. You know, I'm like, Noni, what you need? Like, you need anything? Can I do anything for you? Like, and I remember we got the food together, came back around, everybody was kind of coming down or whatever. And I thought I was coming down, like I thought I completed the process. And we just sitting around, people talking and stuff. And I just got like a really like weird feeling that I never had in my like I felt sick, but I felt good, but I felt nauseous, but I felt shitty. Like it was a lot going on. And then it felt like I was in a loop because you and Jubilee were having a conversation. And I remember like putting my face in a pillow and just like popping up and saying, "We've had this conversation already." And y'all did not even pay me any attention. And I was like, what is going on? And so I was like, Sophia, um, is it possible that it can kick in late? And of course she answered in a way that it was like, you didn't answer my question. And I just remember after asking her that, feeling like I was melting into my pillow, into the floor, into conversations that I felt like I done had 50, 11 times. And I remember just getting up. And I was like, Nani, can you go to the bathroom with me? And I remember like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to shit or throw up. Like, and you was like, you know what? I'ma close the door and let you do what you need to do. And I did sit on the toilet and I thought I was gonna purge that way. And as soon as I sat down, I projected like two big papayas, it felt like. And then I felt weird as fuck after that. Like everything was vibrating. Like everything was like, I don't know. It was almost like I was in the like strobes everywhere. Like especially with the leaves, like the plants and stuff, like in the yard and stuff, everything was like that. So instead of me coming back to the circle when I came from the bathroom, I seen y'all sitting there, but I went to go sit back and I had just found my inner child. And she said, "You don't feel like going over there. Don't." And I was like, "I'm not." And I kept and I kept walking and I went and got in the bed. And I just became extremely emotional. I started texting people, telling people I miss them. I just got really emotional and I cried a lot while y'all was out there doing the ceremony and stuff. Um And then I remember Maya coming in to put some clothes on or something. And I asked her some things because I was still kind of weird feeling, but I was coming back down. And she was like, she's not going to tell your experience without you being there. So if you want to hear your experience through her, like, you might want to come on out. And I did, but I was somewhere else when I came out. And I remember wanting to keep what I got. Like I don't want it to leave. Like I want to keep it. And who could ever be the same after this experience? Like who could ever go back to being the same? And that was the ayahuasca. Oh, so my word enthusiastic was the way Sophia described it to me was like, that's what you wanted that was dormant in you, to be enthusiastic again, because it's who you are. And so it made sense because I mean, we go through stages in life where different information could change you for the better or change you for the worse. It depends on, how you choose to look at it. But regardless of which way it tells you to go, where you supposed to be if you view it that way. That's that's a phrase out of Leonard book. Did you free? So that was my ayahuasca trip. The next following day, we did travel. We had another adventure in the van, and I jumped out on y'all.
Blame me. That was a little nerve wracking for everybody, I believe. Mr. Leonard is a very walk by faith type of person. And um, you know, we was going on faith.
I
So
think
but no, I don't. It was getting a little like, okay, hold up now.
yeah.
But that it had to end up getting out and pushing.
Yes, yes. It was an adventure. I mean, the fact that Matt said, like, okay, I'm done having adventures in this van. It's time to go home, then I knew I wasn't the only one. I just kind of showed mine a little bit more than everybody. But so after that, that was kind of a chill day. And I remember just waking up feeling like when I see myself, I didn't see just the adult me. I seen like the child me and what I grew up into. Like, so now when I see myself, I always try and make sure that I see that when I look in the mirror now. And it just changed my whole life. It changed my
Yeah,
whole life.
sure. I don't think anybody will be the same, and like for the better, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Great experience, and everybody got what they needed, and it was just so how do I put it? Like, it was very cool to see how we were all in like the same spaces, but we were all having different journeys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very cool for me to see. And then even like you to see. So like I actually watched you die and
Mm-hmm.
be reborn.
What did
And
that look like? I didn't know
it
that.
was it was more so like, how you said when you took your last breath, that was basically like your ego, that was an ego death.
Mm-hmm.
So have built up masculine energy to protect you and like, nah, we ain't worried about that. We ain't worried about that. Cut that, cut that. You know what I'm saying? You know. And so the disconnect was from with the womb space and everything was um more so you needed to tap back into your feminine energy, you know. And in order to do that, you had to go find your original feminine, which is your inner child, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Some point y'all got separated somewhere in your journey. And so you basically had to like die to that. And that's what came out. You know what I'm saying? Pious was blockage. You know what I'm saying? That was that being removed from you. And then that's why you was like, oh, and after that I could just feel like I felt, you know what I'm saying? You were feeling, you probably are very clairvoyant and like a seer, you know what I'm saying? Clairaudient, you probably, because you just kept saying, I just see everything, I just see all the auras, the vibes, the
Mm-hmm.
like, like or like purple,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense because I'm very much in my crown chakra right now. So yeah, so it was just amazing to see you like um, because during the trip I always felt your resistance. But I've learned, like, when someone's not ready, they just not ready. Like, just, that let them have that, come into it within their own time. And that's why it was very, like, told to be very specific with you. Like, are you ready to receive? You
Mm-hmm.
know, because you had to make the choice to receive it.
And the crazy
And
thing is, I thought I was.
yeah, now you just because you just have been so used to being numb and, just operating strictly based off of what your eyes can see, or, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Your thought was your inner voice, which really wasn't. It was just more so like, um,
I told you I
speak.
ignored her. I
Yeah,
remember
yep.
telling you that I was like, you was like, you can hear her, and I was like, I can, but I ignore her. Like, I straight up fucking ignore her. Like, I really do.
So once you tapped into all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that you got emotional because I left you to do the rest of the
Mhm.
work. You know, but it makes sense because all of that was inside, you know what I mean? That you had, like, pushed so far down. And our womb is our second brain, you know what I mean? That is hold our trauma.
Mhm.
And so I feel it is to disconnect from it, you know. So that's kind of what happens with us sometimes. And so, and then even like afterwards, like your even who you had become to everybody else, like your glow, like the way you was operating, it was different. And then like your want to be open, like your wanting to, like, yes, it was partly gratitude, but I think more so it was just like your heart was fully open. And so
Mhm.
you, how can I help? Who can I help? Where? And yeah, it was a very beautiful thing to see and be a part of with you. And I'm glad that I could experience that in your growth. And, like you said earlier before we got on here, like, you're a new person, and I really saw you transform.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it was dope. To add on to that following day or the next day after, when I was getting ready to leave and I did the energy work with Dr. Larry, I didn't know what that was about either, but I'll make it short. He did energy work on me. I had my eyes closed. It was like laying on a massage table. And he started on the front part of me. And I just remember these feeling like an icy hot feeling coming off of me. And it would, depending on what he was doing, it would intensify. It would intensify. And he did my full body when we got finished or whatever. He asked me, did I know about the chakras? And I was like, yeah, the basic ones or whatever. And he was like, well, it's many of them. And I was like, okay. Um, and he was like, a lot of people don't talk about this chakra, but it's the chakra in between your throat and your heart. It's called the upper chakra. And he was like, I don't know if you came here in this lifetime with it, or you you well, I don't know if you got it here in this lifetime or you came with it from another lifetime. He said, but it's open. And I said, that would explain the always searching for a type of love that I never can get it reciprocated. Because now I definitely know for sure the love that I have to share is not of this world.
it won't be reciprocated because that's your gift.
And that was just like really nice to hear. So, on top of the healing that I got with ayahuasca and you, and then going from that, like, it all lined up together because I just felt like I was doing too much at one point, and then it was like I wasn't doing enough. And what I tell people now, no matter how much you feel like you might be open-minded or you feel like you um not simple-minded, it's like Mother Ayahuasca will, I ain't gonna say she'll break you down, but you can't hide from her. Like it was no hiding anything. Even though I was trying to, it was no hiding from her. And I also want to give, what you say?
Made me like realize something. Like you are absolutely right because I have been hiding like I never wanted to be that weird girl. You know what I'm saying? But I always knew that I had like gifts, you know, but I knew to um I've been around people and I've gotten downloads from them that I didn't give them, you know, or like it to like do some energy work on somebody that I didn't do because I was just like afraid, like reserved, like how they gonna like, and so I think that's really why my eyes were sealed shut because it's like don't worry about it, do
Hmm.
it.
Hmm. Yeah, it was true. It was talking about the experience with you right now. Like I'm really like feeling it again and just having a better understanding of like everything that we went through. And then to hear it from your point of view. I know we finna get off. Hear it from your point of view. It, huh?
Yeah.
Hearing it from your point of view, it was just, I get to see it in a different way. But that was, I mean, our trip to Costa Rica. Everybody said their goodbyes. Everybody kind of left on different days and different times. Me and Kaya had a little adventure on the way to the airport. We had to go to the ATM to get some colones, and which our driver was a woman. She was really, really sweet. And like I said, the only thing I probably hate the most was the commute in Costa Rica. Because when I tell you, it's probably two stoplights that I seen the whole time. And the way they drive, it's like no speed limit. It's no like yielding right away. Whoever go first and make it.
Aims like it's crazy.
Oh my goodness. So, that was a little adventure because we didn't know how to read the ATM and use it the right way or whatever. So we ended up asking somebody, and they was nice enough to help us. So everybody left at their own time and took what they gained back. And
We stayed, well, you know, I stayed like 2 extra days by myself, but like the day after you left, we were all still there, except for you two, and we stayed at a modern house. It was like a house that we used to, like it was
oh,
closed. So it had a hot shower, and I was surprised. Okay, but it was cool. It was a nice house, a nice like modern house, and yeah, we just kind of, you know, all just vibed a little bit in our own ways, reflected. Um, and then, you know, some people's experiences didn't hit them till we were on our way to the airport. So, mhm.
oh,
So like, was it was an emotional departure. I will say that.
hmm,
Sad, you know what I'm saying? It was like some people needed to release some shit that they wasn't, you know, releasing or hadn't released yet, and it just kind of happened on on the way back. And you know, Mama Nani. kicked in, and so it was just it was yeah, it showed me a lot about myself and like the parts of myself that I've been freed from. Like I really have been resistant to being Mama Nani, and it's people like you are a very old soul, like your wisdom and you know what I'm saying, like just
Mhm.
everything and like I'm tired of holding space for people, just about it.
Yeah.
Everything that I am and everything I do. So just having a like switching my perspective on it has opened up quite a few doors
Mhm.
since we've been definitely infinite gratitude for the tribe that I've gained, for the sisterhood that I've gained, for the clarity, you know what I mean, for the knowing that I now have.
Mhm.
It just, it's surreal. And it's like if you weren't there, you wouldn't understand. Like conversation is even though it's gone so like longer than we expected, but it's like we didn't even really scratch the surface on everything that happened, everything that
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope. But Nani,
moments we had, all the lessons we learned, the animals that was yeah. So that's why I'm like, we really just gave a brief, even though it wasn't brief, like it was still like a brief overview of the experience because there was so many layers and so much stuff that went into it. It was just big shout out to Leonard and Kunaga for putting it together. And yeah,
yeah,
because he's actually the one that reached out to me. He just
Kanana,
yeah,
me
yep.
too. Me too. Me too.
Uh, seeing what you about, and I think you would enjoy it. And it was like right on time for me, And seems like me and you both pushed through that anxiety of we must have been strangers for 12 days. Cause like my space too.
Man, listen. Uh, listen. I just really enjoy, like I say, being in such a healthy environment, it was dope. But like you said, shout out to Kanaga and Leonard for putting that retreat together. I don't really know how to pronounce Kanaga's IG, but it's at
AISCO.
yep, AIASCO. That's where you can find Kanaga. And Leonard, he goes by Elevated Yogi on Instagram. So y'all can look them up and see about future retreats that they plan on having coming up. Nani, I appreciate you. I thank you. I feel like I really have a lot of gratitude and I don't feel like it's nothing I could ever do other than offer, other than to share the love that I have with myself with you because I don't want to feel like I'm, forming some kind of attachment, but you did play a very important role in my process. And I appreciate you for that.
Well, there's a huge difference in like attachments and connections.
Hmm.
So have a sisterhood that we found and formed and like you do respect what I'm saying. Like so don't think that you don't because just you seeing me.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm this person to a lot of people who can appreciate it because they can't see it.
Hmm.
The fact that you can see it and you express your gratitude openly and you're like, hey, if you need me, I'm here with what you need.
Hmm.
Because I don't have too many people in my life like that. So, just even feeling that with you from so far away. You know what I mean? Like I have people that live here and I don't even talk to them as much as I talk to you.
Hmm.
You yeah, definitely don't think that you got to dig deep to find anything for me because
I appreciate it. I really do.
you are a very loving soul and being. And now that you got all the feels, you know what I'm saying? You can just vibe super high and on that love frequency and just teach other people like how to give that like agape love. You know what I mean? Like and what one thing I also want to tell you, like the whole trip, you was the one who was like, you need money, you need money, you need a
I feed you. Now I feed you.
that's that heart space. You know what I'm saying? Like when nobody was speaking up, you was like, you need colognes, even when nobody asked, you know? So yeah, don't doubt that about yourself. You know what I mean? Like your light is bright.
Thank you. Thank you. Cause you know I like to thrive in the dark.
Bright light. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. I like to
With
put it.
hey, you know what I'm saying? So that's like out of the darkness.
Mm.
So
That's what I remember you saying that too. Now that you said it, I remember you saying you so good at like being in the dark, you don't even want to come to the light. And I was like, you right. You right. You right. But I ain't gonna hold you up no more. I'm sure we'll talk really soon and do what we normally do. And I'm ready to see you physically. Like
we'll work it out. We're gonna put something together and make it do what it do. It won't be too long. Because I'm already like I've never felt lonely until after this experience.
I know.
And like I've never felt like, damn, I miss these motherfuckers. Like where are they? You know, I've never had that feeling, but that's just that we all filled each other up at you know what I'm saying, at different points in time and it always like was revolving. It never stopped at one person. You know, I just yeah. So that's why it's been on my heart and my mind ever since. Like, yeah, okay, when we gonna figure out the next one ASAP.
Hmm.
You know.
For real. For real. But thank you for coming on Backwoods to help me express well, tell my experience at Costa Rica and the part that you played and just giving me your time. Thank you.
And bringing me into your realm.
I'm backwoods country.
Okay, love. Well, peace and light, and I will talk to you soon. You have a great night, and make sure you send me the link so I can, I want to rewatch it.
I will. I will. I don't think I'm gonna edit anything, really, honestly, because I just like how we was.
And
So
you ain't time like you was doubting all in the beginning. Like we had a great conversation.
I know, that's where my mind go first, just because I gotta be prepared. You got a weapon. You got a weapon.
Oh, because you already divine and highly protected. You are the weapon.
Boo. But I'll be talking to you soon. Peace. Remember, backwoods isn't mine, it's yours. I'm just a vessel.